It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's another edition of Strictly Sports. Hello, friends. I am your host, Anthony Floyo, joined as always by Good MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. Not much on the docket this week, but it's going to be basically going to be a lot of recaps here, and we're going to start off with the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby that went down this past Monday night to kick off the All-Star festivities at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. What a derby. I mean, the results in no particular order. Trey Mancini of the Baltimore Orioles was the 6th seed. He defeated number 3 seed Matt Olson of the Oakland A's 24-23. The number 7 seed Trevor Story of the hometown Rockies defeating the number 2 seed Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers 20-19. The number 5 seed Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, he knocked off the number 4 seed Salvador Perez of the Kansas City Royals 35-28. And in perhaps the greatest home run derby display you will ever see, Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals defeated and upset the odds-on favorite in many people's eyes, including mine, NMF's, Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, in a swing-off, 31-28. Second round, Trey Mancini defeating Trevor Story 13-12, and Pete Alonso defeated Juan Soto 16-15. And in the final, Pete Alonso defeated Trey Mancini 23-22. So that made Pete Alonso a back-to-back home run derby champion. He won it in 2019. We didn't have this event last year because of COVID, but we got it back this year, and Pete Alonso, the winner. He had a combined 74 home runs, and I did some quick math here. Unofficially, I counted a combined 301 home runs by all these players and in these rounds. I mean, unbelievable. Just amazing. And Alonso won the Derby in 2019, and then last year was canceled because of COVID, and that meant Alonso came in as a defending champ with the win. He becomes just the 3rd player ever to win back-to-back derbies. The other 2 are Yoenis Cespedes in 2013 and 2014, and Ken Griffey Jr. in 1998 and 1999. Alonso also made first history. Alonso announced his presence loudly in the first round as he matched 35 home runs, and that occasioned some derby history. Most in a first round and 3rd most in any round in home run derby history. Add those 35 up, and you get just shy of 3 miles of home runs in the first round alone. He pretty much needed such an effort, as his first round opponent Salvador Perez racked up 28 dingers, which is the most ever by a catcher in the home run derby. Trey Mancini turned in an inspiring performance. As a survivor of stage 3 colon cancer, Mancini was already a rich source of inspiration before his performance in the Derby on Monday night, but then he went out and made the finals while also pushing Alonso close to the limit. Coming in, Mancini was considered a long shot by most bookmakers. His plus 1,600 odds to win entering the night were the longest among the 8-hitter field, but he wound up defying expectations in a big way with a win over Matt Olson in the first round and hometown rep Trevor Story in the second round. Soto sent Ohtani packing. Shohei Ohtani's run in the home run derby was short-lived. Nationals wunderkind Juan Soto eliminated Ohtani in round 1, though it took 2 dramatic tiebreakers to do it. Ohtani and Soto tied with 22 homers apiece in the initial 3-minute round plus 60-second bonus time. They then tied with 6 homers apiece in the 1-minute tiebreaker round. The second tiebreaker is a 3-swing swing-off, and Soto won a perfect 3 for 3, 3 swings, 3 homers. Ohtani failed to go deep on his first swing, and that was it. He was eliminated. Ohtani hit 6 500-foot home runs and 15 475-foot home runs, both records in a single round in the StatCast era, 2015 to present. Ohtani hit home runs of, listen to this, guys, 513, 507, 505, 503, 500, and 500 feet. Soto had the night's longest home run at 520 feet. Although he was eliminated in round one, Ohtani fans would look forward to the All-Star game when he served as the starting pitcher and starting DH for the American League. We'll get into that in a little bit. And Coors Field did not disappoint. MLB wisely did not store the home run derby baseballs in the Coors Field humidor, so they really flew out of the park on Monday. No humidor and high altitude makes for some good dinger hitting. The 10 longest home runs of the home run derby: Juan Soto at 520 feet, Trevor Story 518 feet, Pete Alonso 514 feet, Shohei Ohtani 513 feet, Pete Alonso 512 feet, all those in round one. Pete Alonso had a 509 and 508 and hit homers of 509 and 508 feet in the finals. Shohei Ohtani 507 feet in round one, Juan Soto 506 feet in round one, and Shohei Ohtani 505 feet in round one. Prior to Monday, the longest home run derby home run in the StatCast era was a 513-foot blast by Aaron Judge in 2017. The longest home run of round two was a 498-footer by Alonso. The shortest homer of the night, a 359-foot wall scraper by Story in round one. So I can honestly say, and we've seen a lot of these in our time, but for my money, if I'm going to be honest with you, it was, without a doubt, the absolute greatest home run derby I ever saw. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, it had everything you ever wanted. I mean, it was fast paced, five-star classic Shakespearean drama, and you couldn't have picked a better atmosphere. Although I felt sad for MF and the wonderful fans of Atlanta, because I felt they got robbed, because the game was initially supposed to be at the brand new Truist Park in Atlanta, but they got robbed of that and they went to Denver. But now, I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even mad about that anymore. I mean, if this is what we were going to get as a result, man, just unbelievable. And I believe the total is 301. I got to do the math again, so I'll have the official combined number in just a little bit. But I can honestly say, greatest home run derby I ever saw. And Michael Bullock and I, let me tell you, this ended up being part of one of the best Raw chats we've had in a long time. I mean, it's always fun when we have them, but I can't recall a Raw chat where we had more fun than with that. I mean, of course, Monday Night Raw was a solid final Thunderdome show. And then throw on top of that the Derby. I mean, Bullock and I were flipping back and forth between Raw and the Derby. And boy, howdy, we were very, hyped for it. We were hooting and hollering a lot. And, it was almost like we were there. So it was awfully fun. And whew, what a night. So with that, congratulations, Pete Alonso. We'll see if he goes for the three-peat next year at Dodger Stadium. But all I can tell you is, for my money, that was the best damn home run derby I've ever seen. And these keep getting more and more fun every year. If they keep doing it the way they're doing them, the following year it's gonna get better and better and better and better every year. So, all right, LA, let's see what you got next year. So, nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. We kicked off our Major League Baseball All-Star coverage with the home run derby, and let's just say you said goodbye home run 301 times.
There was I had to change it up because this is one of those where, as a commentator, goodbye home run is my traditional, but I had to change it up, so I was finding.
But you did do it. But you did do it on when Alonso walked off for the win.
Oh yeah. When Alonso walked it off, I mean, I think everybody's heard what I said. Oh my goodness, fly ball, goodbye home run, the winner, and still the home run derby champion, Pete Alonso of the New York Mets. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. This was an incredible home run derby. I had a lot of fun with it. There's really nothing more to add. So, Mike Bullitt, you and Florio and myself, man, we were really feeling a mile high in Denver on Monday night. That was definitely one of the best home run derbies that we've done in a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, this was definitely. I mean, yeah, the home run balls were definitely flying. Yeah, and but the real thing that really blew me away was Trey Mancini. I mean, just think a year ago, this guy was battling stage 3 colon cancer, and here it is a year later. He was in the finals of the home run derby and had a chance to win it, but losing it to Pete Alonso. But even in a loss, I mean, you saw Pete Alonso giving Trey Mancini the respect he deserves, and that was a classy move there by Pete Alonso. But to me, the big story of the home run derby to me was Juan Soto basically knocking off one of the favorites, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, people thought Shohei Ohtani was gonna win this whole thing, and he loses in the first round via a swing off, and when 3 extra swings and Juan Soto hit them all, I'm like, the pressure's on Shohei Ohtani, and the first one he missed, I couldn't even believe it. I mean, Florio and I couldn't believe what we had seen. Juan Soto knocking off the favorite, but and yes, some of the home run balls that were basically hit. I mean, one of them went 520 feet. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, when I heard that the All Star game was moved to Coors Field, I knew I was like when it comes to the home run derby, the balls were going to be flying big time, and that's what we got. 301 home runs hit. Man, oh man! And like you said, Florio, LA's got a big act to follow next year when it comes to the home run derby. So we'll just have to work. We're gonna have to wait and see how it all plays out. But the one thing that I think could have made this whole thing better if they brought back Chris Berman on commentary, just to hear him do the
Oh yeah,
back, back, God. It's yours, Florio.
and gentlemen, I did the math, and I actually stand corrected. It was not 301 total home runs. It was 309 total home runs that was hit. Um, if you can believe that. So I stand corrected. The combined total, when all was said and done, these young men combined for 309 total home runs. I mean, that's insane. So it's like I always say. I mean, the home run derby is better than the Major League Baseball All Star Game. NBA All Star Saturday Night is better than the NBA All Star Game, and the skills competition is better than the All Star Game in the NHL. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I don't care. So with that being said, let's get in now to the Major League Baseball All Star Game that went down the next night, Tuesday night, also from Coors Field in Denver. Starting pitchers Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and Max Scherzer of the Washington Nationals was the starting pitcher for the National League. And when all was said and done, winner of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game for the 8th year in a row. Give it up for the American League. The American League wins the All-Star Game 5-2. Sorry, MF. That means bragging rights from myself and from Michael Bullock because we are both American League guys. I mean, me with the New York Yankees and, of course, Bullock with the Boston Red Sox. And MF's a National League guy, obviously, because of the Atlanta Braves. And sorry, MF. Once again, it's another wait till next year for you guys. National League has not won an All-Star game since 2012. And that was an 8-0 beatdown at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. So American League wins it. Shohei Ohtani was the winning pitcher. The losing pitcher was Corbin Burns of the Milwaukee Brewers. And Liam Hendriks of the Chicago White Sox had the save. A total of 3 home runs were hit in this game. 2 for the American League, 1 for the National League. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Mike Zunino were the AL home run hitters, only 1 for the NL, and that was JT Realmuto of the Philadelphia Phillies. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was named the MVP of the All-Star game, becoming a part of the third father-son All-Star game MVPs. It started with Bobby and Barry Bonds. You also had Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., and now you can have Vladimir Guerrero Sr. and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as MVPs of the Midsummer Classics. So time of the game, an even 3 hours. They got it in right on the money, 3 hours. And that's all I can really say on that. 5-2 American League wins it. So I'm going to give it to the voice of the All-Star game, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And MF, another All-Star game in the books for us. And not really the most exciting All-Star game, but it's always fun nonetheless. And I mean, especially that beautiful pregame ceremony with the widow of Hank Aaron.
Yeah, no, there was a plenty of a lot of great moments to be had by everybody involved. Yes, the game wasn't the greatest, but especially later in the game, the National League had a great moment where they could have done some damage. They had a bases loaded with 2 outs. Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs could have broke the game open, but a great outfield catch. Robin with what probably could have been the tie. We could have had a tie game with that, but at the end of the day, that's the way that it went down. And yeah, big win for the American League as usual, 8 years in a row. But I mean, like you said, not the greatest, but it was still a very good All-Star game nonetheless. So nothing more to add. It was definitely a joy and an honor to play in Denver, and like you said, can't wait for LA next year. So, Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the All-Star game definitely. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, it did have some moments. I mean, yeah, I mean, with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting the home run, and of course, ending up winning the All-Star game MVP. But yeah, to me, one of the big moments was right before the game when they brought out the widow of Hank Aaron to pay tribute to Hank Aaron, and I'm sure you guys saw during the home run derby, a number of players were wearing the number 44 on their jerseys, paying tribute to Hank Aaron. So yeah, so I mean, Shohei Ohtani playing as a DH and a starting pitcher. I mean, it's a rarity you see someone like him basically being able to do what he's doing right now. So, and like Fletch said, not the greatest, but we saw some moments there. So there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, I mean, the last truly exciting All-Star game that I can remember was 2008 at Yankee Stadium. I mean, that was the greatest All-Star game to this day. And not just because of the atmosphere, but not just because of where it was, but also because of the elements of it. And 15 innings and went on damn near all night. And, you know, it was one I'll never forget. And we'll all never forget. But, you know, not the greatest All-Star game, honestly. But you know, it is still fun. I mean, it's fun, you know, to to see these guys playing in a more relaxed atmosphere with no high pressure or stakes or anything like that. Like they did when they had that stipulation where the winning league got home advantage in the World Series. I'm glad they got rid of that. I liked it at first, but then it started to grow thin on me because, the team that had the advantage in the World Series didn't have the better record, and that bothered me a lot. But Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with that home run. I mean, you heard MF. You heard what he said on commentary. You heard what he said. He said, deep back.
It is gone. Goodbye. Home run. Vladimir the Terrible. The Junior does it in the All-Star game.
Yep, that's indeed what you said. And I always get those goosies every time I hear the deep back gone. And awesome. And he was the MVP, and rightfully so. I mean, he was definitely the best player in the game. And wow. Our teams, we didn't really, the guys on our teams didn't really do much. I mean, when it comes to my Yankees, Bullets, Red Sox, and MF's Braves. Of course, the sad news came out that Ronald Acuna Jr. is done for the season, and that's a big loss for Atlanta. That hits Atlanta really hard. And looking at it, even though Vlad Jr. was the MVP, I mean, you also could have made a case. Bullock's guy, Xander Bogaerts. I mean, he went 2 for 3 with an RBI. I mean, he very easily could have been the MVP. Aaron Judge went 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored for the Yanks. And I don't think any Yankees got in there pitching-wise. From the other side, Ozzie Albies went 1 for 2 for Atlanta, and Freddie Freeman also went 1 for 2. So that's all there was there. The final count, the final tally: 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the American League, 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the National League, and Shohei Ohtani went 1 inning, and that's all. Nothing. Burns, the losing pitcher, he went 2 innings, allowed 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Liam Hendricks, 1 inning, 1 strikeout for the save. And international feel. And, Ohtani from Japan and Hendricks from Australia getting the save there. And that's all there really was. And hopefully we'll get a more exciting game next year. But, it is what it is. And really all there is to say on that. So with that being said, I am now. I don't know if he's ready, but I'm gonna turn the mic over to good old MF Michael Fletcher, because this is gonna be a staple for our shows for the next few weeks. MF, if you're ready, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and tonight's gonna be the first of a good 7 or 8 weeks worth of installments of a new concept that we agreed on last week's show, where MF is going to run down the happenings of the Big Three basketball, which MF is a very dedicated and loyal fan of, and I know MF said he had a lot of things he had a lot of information that he wanted to share with us, and
a lot of game notes. That's all I got. A lot of game notes. Official scorers box from the Big Three. Yeah, we're going 8-week season this time around, where the finals, it's going to be the semifinals and the championship game at the Atlantis in the Bahamas this year. So it's going to be very interesting. Big Three last year couldn't do anything because of COVID. COVID-19 was running amok, and unfortunately, it took out the big three last year, but it came back with a vengeance, and oh boy, did it come back. So this year, dual partnership, we got Fight TV and Thriller, and of course, the mothership CBS. They're going to be holding down the big three. And guys, if you're ready to go, here we go. So, first game on the docket. This game was on CBS, and it was the Enemies going up against Power, the Season 2 champion. Power wins it 51-46 in a very good game. The high scores for Power, Cuttino Mowgli, one-time NBA All-Star, of course, from the University of Rhode Island, the Rhodian Rams. Cuttino Mowgli, the cat himself, 26 points in the big three, and the first man to hit the 4-point shot. Royce White, also pretty good in this game, had a double-double with 13 points and 11 rebounds. And Joel Alexander had 10 points in his debut. For the Enemies, it was Isaiah Austin. Isaiah Austin, the one-time star from Baylor, who actually could not play in the NBA because of a heart condition. He was there on draft night, did not get drafted, but the NBA gave him a job as a member. He got to walk the stage and had a really cool moment with Adam Silver. That's why Adam Silver is the best commissioner or authority figure in all of major sports today. But he decided to go to the big three, was the number one overall pick in this year's draft, the 2021 draft, and had a game of his career. 24 points, 7 rebounds. In his debut, and Elijah Stewart had a pretty good game for himself with 11 points in a losing effort for the Enemies. So Power wins it 51-46. They're 1-0 for Nancy Lieberman as the Season 2 champions are looking to get the title back. And speaking of that title, the reigning, defending Big Three champions, Triplets, they went up against Bivouac, and Triplets wins it 51-39 in their game. And it was all about the MVP of the Big Three a couple of seasons ago. ISO Joe Johnson picked up right where he left off. A double-double for him, 27 points, 12 rebounds in the game. Jamir Pargo as well had 16 points in a winning effort. For Bivouac, it was Will Bynum who had a great game with 23 points, 9 rebounds, just shy of a double-double. Had 2 assists also in the game as well. But the Triplets picked up where they left off and won that game. Then we went over to Fight TV and Thriller for the third matchup, as it was the Killer Threes going up against Trilogy. Trilogy wins the game by the final score of 50-38 for Trilogy. Their high man was Isaiah Briscoe with 28 points and 6 rebounds. And Jerry Jack had 15 points in a winning effort as well. For the Killer Threes, it was Dante Green having a tremendous performance with 26 points in a losing effort. Trilogy, also a Big Three champion. They were the Season 1 champions of the Big Three. So they start off the season at 1-0. In our fourth game of the 6th, it was the Three-Headed Monsters going up against Tri-State. Three-Headed Monsters wins the game by the final score of 50-39. And for the Three-Headed Monsters, there was a three-headed monster, as it was Kevin Murphy with 19 points and 5 rebounds. You had Rashad Lewis. Yes, you heard that name in the NBA. Rashad Lewis, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and a double-double. And Mamadou Diawé, I hope I pronounced that right, with 8 rebounds, 8 points, 3 rebounds, but 2 monster block shots in the game. For the high man for Tri-State was Earl Clark, as he had 14 points in a losing effort. The next game that we had, game number 5 of 6, as it was the Ball Hogs going up against Three's Company. The Ball Hogs wins this one 50-41. For the Ball Hogs, it was Leandro Barboza, the Brazilian, absolutely going nuts in the Big Three. He made himself right at home. 22 points with 5 rebounds, 5 assists in the game. Also got a steal and a block. And Jody Meeks with 18 points, also in the winners bracket. Jameer Pargo for Three's Company was the high man on his team with 16 points. And Mario Chalmers and Drew Gooden was also pretty good with 9 and 8 respectively. And going into the final game of week number 1, as it was the Ghost Ballers taking down the Aliens. Final score was 51-45. Mike Taylor and Chris Johnson absolutely led the way for the Ghost Ballers. Mike Taylor had 20 points with 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 blocks. And Chris Johnson, 19 points, 8 rebounds, had an assist and 2 blocks in a winning effort. For the Aliens, Ronaldo Balkman was the high man with a double-double, 14 points and 14 rebounds. And Shannon Brown, the former LA Laker, 10 points and 2 rebounds, were the high men for the Aliens. Of course, Brandon Rush and Greg Oden. Greg Oden, a one-time number 1 draft pick in the NBA, had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and a block in a losing effort for the Aliens. And now we lead ourselves to week number 2 of the Big Three that is going down this weekend. Starting on Saturday, most of the games that you can watch will be on CBS, and some other games will be on Fight TV, and on Thriller. This week, week number 2, guys, hold on. Let me see if I can get the week 2. All right. So week 2 matchups we got the Three-Headed Monsters and Trilogy. We have the Triplets and Power going at it. Oh boy, that's going to be a heavyweight championship fight. And then we also got is the Killer Threes, and they're going to go up against Three's Company. Those 3 games are on Saturday. 2 of the games, Three-Headed Monsters and Trilogy. And the main event of week number 2, Triplets and Power, the battle of the 2 last champions in the league. Those 2 games will be held on CBS. All that games will be on CBS. And then on Fight and Thriller will be Three's Company and the Killer Threes. And then on Sunday, we got It's Enemy and Ghost Ballers, Tri-State versus Bivouac, and Aliens versus Ball Hogs. And all those games will be on the mothership on CBS from the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's it. Triple hitter Saturday, triple hitter on Sunday. All games from Vegas, 5 out of the 6 on the mothership on CBS, except for Three's Company and Bivouac. If you guys want to see it, you can go to Thriller or you can go to Fight TV. And for all you fans who are wondering, do you have to pay for it? Absolutely not. The game's on the house. It is for free. So that's it. That's week 1 of the Big Three. Oh, by the way, before I get going, quick thought on the Conor McGregor fight. It was a decent fight. It was a good matchup. Conor McGregor did lose due to a doctor stoppage due to injury. Now that does indeed give the opportunity. It opens the door for the one and only for Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier will now get to fight for the championship against Charles Oliveira sometime down the line. So nothing more to say. Anthony, thank you for giving me this time. Back to you, my friend.
All right, very good, MF. Can't wait to hear more on that, and MF will have the results of those games for you on this show next week. So I do have one quick little comment I want to make when it comes to the Big Three, and that is
Sure.
there's a team, there's one of the team names that's really caught my eye and tickling my fancy, and that's Three's Company. I love that name.
Yeah.
I really do. And
yeah.
I'm very curious. Was it named after the legendary TV series? That's one of my all-time favorites.
I probably will say no. But the thing is that all the teams are basically their own identities. There is no really home base or city or anything like that. So I mean, when it comes to Three's Company or Bivouac or all those teams, there's not really a team that really stands out about why that team is the team that they got. But I will say this: if you're wondering, Three's Company is actually coached by Michael Cooper. That's the
legendary Laker.
Yeah, legendary Laker. The captain of the team is Demir Johnson. Of course, you got Jameer Pargo, Drew Gooden, Mario Chalmers.
A couple of Kansas boys, yep.
Yep, a couple of Kansas boys. And Ryan Hollins, who's been on ESPN and done some first take stuff in his day. And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good team. But as far as Three's Company go, no, Anthony. Unfortunately, it's not related to the TV show. I know that it would have sounded very cool if it was, but unfortunately, no, it's not.
Okay. That's the reason why I like the team name, because
oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because little fun fact about me, Three's Company happens to be one of my all-time favorite television shows, and I binge watch it every day on Pluto TV. So that's all there is to say on that. They have a 24-hour channel on the Pluto TV. So which is one of the many things I have on my Roku device, and as is Fight TV. So if I get a chance, I'll definitely check it out, because I just love that name. I really do. So all kidding aside, let's now get into the main event of the evening, which is the 2021 ESPY Awards. ESPY Awards were held last Saturday night on this rooftop pier in New York City. Very interesting atmosphere. It was the rooftop at Pier 17 in New York City. It was hosted by Anthony Mackie. And with all that being said, I'm going to go from bottom to top here. So first, I'll start with the non-competitive awards. Best championship performance went to Simone Biles in gymnastics. The best championship moment went to the Los Angeles Dodgers for winning the 2020 World Series. Best coach went to Tara Vanderveer, the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal women's basketball team. The Pat Tillman Award for service, Marcus Rashford of Manchester United and the England national football team. The Arthur Ashe Award for courage went to Maya Moore. And the Jimmy V Award went to Chris Nykic of the triathlon. I'm very sure that's going to be near and dear to Bullock's heart, and because that young man has Down syndrome, and very, very special story to say the very least. And then from there, the best bowler went to Tom Doherty. Best WWE moment, I don't think this one comes as a surprise to any of us. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, the first Black women, African-American women to main event WrestleMania. They did so on the first night of WrestleMania 37, the Saturday night, as we all know, and they stole the damn show. We all know that. Best female athlete with a disability, Rebecca Murray for wheelchair basketball. Best male athlete with a disability, that also went to Chris Nykic of the triathlon. The best female tennis player went to Naomi Osaka. The men's tennis player was Novak Djokovic. Best female action sports athlete, Chloe Kim, snowboarding. Male action sports athlete was Gabriel Medina, a surfer. The best MMA fighter went to Khabib Nurmagomedov. He was the winner in that. The best boxer was Tyson Fury. Best female golfer was Si Young Kim. The best male golfer was Phil Mickelson. The best jockey was Joel Rosario. Best driver was Lewis Hamilton of Formula One. Female soccer player was Sam Mewis of Manchester City / United States. The men's soccer player was Cristiano Ronaldo, Juventus in Portugal. The best NWSL player, that's the female pro soccer league, that went to Julie Ertz, the wife of Zach Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles. She won that award. She plays for the Chicago Red Stars in that league. The best MLS player went to Diego Rossi of Los Angeles FC. The best WNBA player went to Breanna Stewart of the Seattle Storm. NHL player, bit of a surprise here. It went to Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks. I would have thought it would have gone to Connor McDavid, especially after the year he had this past year. NBA player, that went to Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Best Major League Baseball player was Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Best NFL player, that went to Tom Brady of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Record-breaking performance went to Russell Westbrook for surpassing Oscar Robertson's 181 career triple-doubles. Best female college athlete was Paige Buckers of UConn basketball. Best college athlete on the men's, the best male college athlete was Devontae Smith, the wide receiver from Alabama, the Heisman Trophy winner. The best play, MF and I remember this one very vividly because we called this play. Broke my heart as a Bills fan, but it was still fun to watch. Kyler Murray, the infamous Hail Murray to DeAndre Hopkins to lead the Arizona Cardinals to an upset win over my Buffalo Bills last year. The best game, MF had this one as well. The Final Four game, Gonzaga, UCLA, rightfully so. You couldn't have made an argument for any of the others, but Gonzaga and UCLA, that was hands down the best. Nothing was going to top that. The best breakthrough athlete went to LaMelo Ball of the Charlotte Hornets of the NBA. Best female athlete went to Naomi Osaka. The best male athlete was Tom Brady. And the main event of the night, the best team, your reigning and defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So those are all your winners. Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's start off with you here. Your thoughts on all the winners, and I'm sure you heard about that young man with the Down syndrome, that Chris Nykic of the triathlete. He also won the best male athlete with a disability award, and I know that had to be very inspiring to you, and it was very inspiring to all of us. But other than that, what else stood out to you?
Yeah, and like you said, that was definitely it definitely was near and dear to me. I mean, to hear that athlete in the triathlon with Down syndrome winning the Jimmy V award, I mean, and also getting the best athlete with a disability. I mean, it's near and dear to me, and he definitely inspired a lot of people. I mean, and I'm pretty sure those in attendance gave him a standing ovation that he so richly deserves. And somewhere around here right now, Timothy Shriver is gonna be pretty happy with this. And also, and I gotta say this too, guys, somewhere up in the heavens, the founder of Special Olympics, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, who would have turned 100 this month, she definitely was probably smiling down on on him right now. So yeah, congratulations to him. And yeah, I mean, and of course, yeah, Tom Brady. I mean, what can you say about him? I mean, takes home 2 awards for best NFL athlete and best male athlete overall. And of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the best team overall. I mean, especially with that performance they had in the Super Bowl, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs, and yeah, and of course they're bringing back the band for this season. So can they make it back to back? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, and of course the best WWE moment, like you said, no surprise, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, 2 African women main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania, and like you said, they stole damn show. And yeah, I mean that best NHL athlete award. I mean, I thought it was going to go to Connor McDavid too. So, and but Patrick Kane, I mean, winning it, I mean, was a little surprising, but it is what it is. And of course, Stephen Curry taking home the best NBA athlete, and no surprise about the best Major League Baseball athlete going to Shohei Ohtani. That certainly came as no surprise, but all in all I can say is congratulations to all the winners of the 2021 ESPYs. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. The show was not the greatest. I mean, a lot of the times, it kind of got to me, rubbed me the wrong way, but we're not going to talk about that. We're only talking about the winners because that's what it's all about. Big night for Tom Brady, winning 2 awards, winning the male athlete and best NFL player. The Bucks winning the best team award. Another big winner, of course, Naomi Osaka, winning the female athlete and the best female tennis player. Like I said, the game, Gonzaga and UCLA. I mean, what can I say? I mean, that was. I've already gone on the record, and I'll say it again. I'll never get tired of saying it. Until I see a game better than that. That was the greatest NCAA tournament game I have ever seen. And I've been watching the tournament a long time. And I've been watching the tournament for probably about a quarter of a century now. I started getting into it around 90, near the tail end of maybe the 95 or 96 tournament. And my first year going all in was 97. And that was the best damn tournament game I've seen. And we've seen a lot of great ones, but that Gonzaga UCLA game, I mean, the only other game that could have surpassed it was that Baltimore Raven Cleveland Brown shootout in Week 14. That's the only one that could have surpassed it. But the Zags in UCLA, they gave us a show, and it was a 10-star classic in my book. And I don't know if you're ever going to see a better tournament game than that if you live to be 100. Hale Murray winning the best play. I mean, like I said, broke my heart as a Bills fan, but it was a thrill to call that moment. I mean, you talk about screaming Michael Fletcher moments. That was a screaming Anthony Florio moment, and you remember how crazy I went on that call. And I channeled my inner Joe Buck from the Minneapolis Miracle on that one, and that's one of the greatest NFL plays I've ever seen. Devontae Smith winning the Heisman, and he adds the best male college athlete. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, the year that he had and the record-setting performance he had in the national championship game for Bama, just incredible. Russell Westbrook with the triple-double record. Great win, great moment for him. Shohei Ohtani winning the MLB player. That's not a surprise because he is the man in the league right now. I mean, he is the talk of the league, and His team may not be doing that great, but boy howdy, he is fun to watch, and he's the best Japanese player in the game since Ichiro, and those two had a photo op together recently. Pretty cool. Stephen Curry winning the NBA player, I'm a little surprised by that. I would have thought Nikola Jokic because he was the MVP. You also could have made an argument for Luka Doncic as well, considering how quickly his star has risen. One of the fastest rising stars in the NBA, and he's going to be a beast for years to come. And he's now the heart and soul of that team. You couldn't have picked a better man to succeed Dirk Nowitzki as the heart of that team. Patrick Kane winning the NHL player. I'm sorry, they got that one wrong. It should have went to Connor McDavid. He scored 105 points in 56 games, and yet he didn't win that award. That's very very surprising to me. Very disconcerting. Let's see. Julie Ertz, Chicago Red Stars NWSL player. She is the wife, as I said, of Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, the star tight end of the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, nice little moment for them. Cristiano Ronaldo winning the male soccer player. No big surprise. I mean, the only one who could have given him a run, of course, was his arch nemesis, Lionel Messi. I know MF knows all about that story. Going on down the line, Phil Mickelson winning the male golfer. What a story for him. 50 years old, and he recently won the PGA Championship. I mean, a big moment for him. Tyson Fury winning the best boxer. That's no big surprise considering he is the best in the world. It's a damn shame that his fight, his upcoming showdown with Deontay Wilder, unfortunately, COVID put a kibosh on that. Damn shame, but it is what it is. I believe it's going to be rescheduled.
It's been rescheduled to October, so we're going to get the fight in October.
Okay. Let's see. That young man, Chris Naikic, the triathlon. I mean, that was a very inspirational moment. That was, I mean, as I saw that moment, I immediately thought of Bullock and all of our friends from the group outing crew. I mean, I know that was a big moment for them, and definitely pulled on my heartstring. Most definitely, that was a pleasure to watch. Young man with Down syndrome. I mean, you got to go out of your way to see that speech, man. That ranks up there as one of the best ones. And Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair winning the WWE moment. I mean, that's not a big surprise. I mean, big moment to say the very least. I mean, African-American women main eventing WrestleMania. The fans wanted it. They got it. And they justified it. I mean, they justified why they deserved it. And the match ended up stealing the damn show. It was the fight of the night of night one. It was the second best match of WrestleMania overall. The only one that was better was Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns. That Universal Triple Threat. That's the only one that surpassed it. But other than that, those two, wow. Maya Moore winning the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage. I mean, what a great story that was. You know, trying to get this young man who was wrongfully imprisoned. And it took her a very long time to do it. She put her WNBA career on hold. She could have won as many championships and accolades and awards as she wanted, but she gave all that up just to get that man out of prison. And now, go figure, they're married. She married that. She went on to marry that guy. What a story! That's all I can say. That's one of the most intriguing stories I've seen in a long time, and kudos to her for that. Tara Vanderveer, you know, she made history, surpassing. We never thought anybody would surpass the late great Pat Summitt as the winningest women's basketball coach of all time, let alone Gino Auriemma. But Tara Vanderveer, she did it, and she did it in grand style, winning the national championship for Stanford this past year. All I can say is, congratulations to all the winners. Like I said, the there were some parts of the show that rubbed me the wrong way, but other than that, always fun. It was the first ever Saturday night ESPYs. I mean, the venue was pretty cool. But I'm hopeful that next year we'll be back, maybe inside some big old theater with full capacity and all that. So congratulations to all the winners. Well deserved. So with all that being said, MF, take this thing home. Your thoughts on the ESPYs?
Well, I'm not going to take too much of the time. My mouth is not really helping. It's kind of hurting right now. But I think you guys said everything that you needed to say. It was well done. Congratulations to all the winners. And Anthony, I'm just going to toss it back to you to end our show tonight.
All right, MF. Big night tomorrow night, boy.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited, man.
Give it to us.
It's happening. We're live. It's going to be from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. SmackDown Live to go home to Money in the Bank. And who knows what we're going to get tomorrow. It's going to be nuts. Women's title match. Carmella gets a shot at Bianca Belair. And, yeah, we got a bunch of surprises that's coming down the pipe. We're going to find out. So, nothing more to say. Cerebral Smack Talk tomorrow night is going to be one of the biggest nights in a long time. So, Florio, it's yours.
Probably since WrestleMania. I mean, but there's two other things on that SmackDown that's going to go down in addition to Bianca Belair and Carmella for the women's title. The four men who are going to represent SmackDown in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match: Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Big E, and King Nakamura. They're going to face each other in a fatal four-way match. And also announced, this is very likely going to be the main event: 6-man tag team action. Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and the Usos squaring off against Edge and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Rey and Dominic Mysterio. That's also been added to the card, and whatever else they want to throw at us tomorrow night in Houston. And in addition, we're also going to preview the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And as an added bonus, MF and I are going to preview the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view that also goes down this weekend. And they're going to be welcoming back fans too, even though they're still going to be in those dingy Skyway studios. But it's going to be so nice to have actual fans in that venue instead of that pumped-in crowd noise and, the damn near silence on that. So it's going to be so refreshing to see that on Saturday night. I can't wait. So, all right, that's going to do it. That's going to put the bow on this edition of Strictly Sports. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. We've already ran down the docket for tomorrow night. And then from there, Sunday, immediately following the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, hop on over to MF's channel, Bracefan 95, as we will have our complete recap of that. Monday night, we do it all again, Ridiculously Raw. Raw's turn to welcome the fans back. They're going to be in Dallas. And then in a special Tony's Take, we will have our recap of Slammiversary. Wednesday Night Mayhem, NXT, AEW Dynamite. And then this program next week, MF will, before we get into that, a decent trade went down. A solid trade went down in Major League Baseball on the night. MF has a new addition, and I know it's a very welcome new addition to his team, the Atlanta Braves. I'm not going to go too much more into it. We'll address that next week. Plus, MF will have the recap of week 2 of the Big 3 basketball, and in our main event, we will recap the 2021 NBA Finals. So that's all going down next week. And until then, until tomorrow night for the huge Cerebral Smack Talk, Anthony Florio here for Good Old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock, along with Didi Woodson, and of course, the Yankee Messiah 401, always and forever, Derek Forever. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday, and until tomorrow night for that Cerebral Smack Talk with MF on Bracefan 95. You've been watching Strictly Sports right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.